Hello. Hello. Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. I am acutely aware that, all of you are hungrily awaiting for the next most important part, namely the lunch. However, sustainability is the heart, currently at least, of this survival of businesses. But sustainability is kind of understood, interpreted by different people differently. Does sustainability mean recycling only? Does it mean less extraction of resources? Does it mean safe chemicals? Does it mean less of littering? Or does it mean all of it? So these are some of the questions that different companies, different corporates, different countries are grappling with. Sustainability in its very basic definition involves three pillars, that is people, planet and profit. However, most of the times the discussions, and particularly in the case of plastics, there is an extra P. And that P has made it, all of it kind of only focusing on environment. That is not to say that environment is less important. However, human survival is very important as well. And for human survival, for meeting various needs, packaging is extremely important. People tend to forget that, particularly the activists and NGOs. And it is here that this panel will try to address some of the things. Because all said and done, beyond all this academic format of this panel discussion is only Saurabh will make a brief presentation. The rest will be the same question and answers.
Thank you once again. And just before we get into the presentation, can we just have a quick show of hands? Number of people here already registered for EPR? Lots, almost everybody sitting in this room. So that means for the next 4 to 5 minutes that I'm going to speak is hopefully going to be worth your time. Also, to give you a little background on what makes me eligible to stand here on the stage and speak about EPR is that I represent Landbell GreenForest Solutions. Landbell is world's largest EPR services company with about 60,000 customers only for EPR for plastic waste, e-waste and waste batteries. And we also offer advisory services for waste management. It is, while we all, especially as producers, importers, brand owners, have a lot of complaints, issues about the extended producer responsibility regime, one must also appreciate the fact that our supply chain is so complex. It's not just we get the polymer, make the packaging, and it is given to the customer. There are so many hands involved. Most of you sitting in this room would be able to appreciate that there are so many people that for the rule maker and the regulator, it is a very, very difficult task to take into consideration each and every case in point, each and every scenario, which is why, I'm sure a lot of you would be saying that we go back to the CPCB with this question, that question, etc. So what I thought, and also with the permission of the chair, I said, let's make this a little more interesting and discuss some case studies. I'm assuming that all of you would probably be facing some of the other issues that I'll be presenting in the next few minutes, and hopefully we come up with the answers together. Okay, the first case study is, let's say I am a converter. I buy HDP and PP granules to make automobile components such as bumpers, tanks, seats and trims. Do I need to comply with EPR? A question that we get asked a lot by a lot of different converters. The answer is not for the components that you manufacture and sell in the market, but yes, to the extent of of the packaging material that you use to package these components and sell them in the market, you have to comply with EPR. So that's one very important point to note here. Second, and this is something that is very close to my heart, something that also encompasses a lot of different cases that come to us. Let's say I'm a blow molder of HDP bottles. I buy HDP granules from Reliance, for example, but I buy LDP poly bags for packing these bottles from the market. The bottles are purchased by other manufacturers who in turn buy caps, labels and sell them to brand owners such as let's say Unilever or...
Thank you, Dr. Habbu. It is unique proposition in India that 90% of the PET bottles consumed is already come to the recycling channel. Thanks to the unorganized collectors, waste collectors, who are the backbone of this system. Approximately 1 million rag pickers, we say Swasthha heroes, are engaged in collection of waste PET bottles from source so that it can reach to the recycling channel. For the increase in the collection, for the better collection, I can say 2-3 things. First, if we incentivize the rag pickers, say in last year we in Gujarat, Gujarat government for the 1 year they come up with a scheme to give 3 rupee per kg to the rag pickers if they give the data through the municipal corporation or gram panchayat. So this give help to the rag pickers and promote them to collect more waste which will come to the recycling channel. Secondly, it is required to train the rag pickers that how the waste, how they can increase the collection of the waste. And the logistic problem for the recyclers, if a recycler collects say 100, if the rag pickers collect the 100 bottles from a particular point, then he have to take it to the local kabadi. So the logistic problem for them is very high, which is to be required to be addressed through some NGOs or through some local kabadis. In some areas we are also doing these things so that the rag pickers can collect from 3 different areas of a city to increase the waste collection. Apart from that, some collection which is being done from the through the municipalities from the door-to-door garbage collection, that also that collection does not goes to the municipal MRF sites, material recovery facility sites. That waste is being sorted out by the some collectors who sit on the door-to-door collection garbage vehicles, and they segregate they segregate the waste from that, and that waste goes to the local kabadis and through them to the recycling channel. So by educating them, rag pickers, by educating the collectors and by educating the households, so that if the waste can easily be segregated at the source, it can be we can improve its collection.
Thank you. So essentially you are saying that make them educated messengers of recycling. So Devendra Surana ji, he said that already we have reached 90% recycling, and that's the figure quoted in Rajya Sabha as well. 90% of PET is already recycled. So, and this recycling traditionally has been in the bottle to fiber industry. So what then is the rationale that of asking the rPET to be introduced material yet, and it's not in the banned list of that has been the 19 items that have been banned yet? Why do PET bottles get shown in various infographics, whether in the, in government's own different departments and ministries shows PET bottles, with the cross mark as banned list, and it gets clubbed along with other plastic items that are banned. What is the rationale? What do you think is happening, this perception about PET being clubbed with, along with other SUPs?
I think there have been a lot of visual data also shown since morning today that PET has been a big consumption item, especially in water bottle industry. And it's a human nature to litter, and littering has been the major cause of PET being always, PET bottles especially, being always in the target when it comes to government promotions and other media. So basically it's more littering than any other issue.
Okay, so you are basically saying that without going into the merits, the chemistry and the positives, it's the visible litter that makes it look like a bad thing. So if that is the case, Devendra ji, what can be done to further reduce the presence of PET in the litter? Are there, for example, can the PET or for that matter any rigid plastics, can the design be changed, or what can be the features that could be incorporated into the design of this which could reduce the littering tendency?
See, the base for this recycling will always be the evolving of the bin culture, which is actually missing in the country. With that being said, and as we when we move from that 90% recycling ratio to a ratio which is much higher than that, is the pull mechanism that's been created through the EPR framework. So this ensures that every person is incentivized to collect, bring it back. So with this, the littering will stop, and is where we'll see the correction in the recollection ratios. And in the design perspective, we always talk about the labels that are a concern. There are single polymers that can be looked at, and a very small minimal difference, like instead of using an inkjet, we are using a laser jet printer. So these kind of are the things that are minimal changes which can actually improve the designing aspect, and that can help higher the ratio of collection.
Thank you.
Dr. Habbu, I would like to add one thing from the design point of view. As a recycler of 1.2 crore PET bottles per day, we get 3 tons of waste labels per day. So out of that 3 tons, approximately 25% labels are made from PVC. So the PVC is the poisonous material for the PET recyclers. It can be removed easily by the brands, by the sustainable packaging design for their products. So it is need of the time to remove the PVC material from the labels. It is the first things which is need to be done for the better sustainability and better recyclability of the PET bottles.
Sure. Actually, I saw an interesting point being made by Manjushri. That topic is not discussed much when you think about design for, designing the bottle or the container for recycling. And one of the points they said was ensuring that the design ensures the complete evacuation of the contents. So design doesn't necessarily, well, design does mean going away from PVC or any other material that poses difficulties in recycling. But that was a very good point that, if you think into the designing aspect that, the designing allows a complete evacuation of the contents and doesn't allow any remnants of the food contents, that would help the recycling as well. So I think that was a good point made. Singhalji, since we are talking of recycling, how is the PET bottle recycling in India compared to West? Have you found out any stark differences between India and the Western countries? And can we be brief, please? Yeah.
Yes. First is the collection. In India, we already discussed that 90% of PET bottles is already being collected. But there is a challenge also. The raw material which recycler is procuring through the unorganized channel. So there are various taxation compliances points which suppliers may not be addressing. So this is a challenge in India. In Western countries, most of the waste material is available through the material recovery facility sites, and it is easy collection for the recyclers. So in India, most of the efforts of the recycler goes on to the collection of the material and smooth flow of the material to the recycling facility, even though it is 90% collected. Secondly, the PVC material, which already we discussed that most of the developed countries, PVC is not used as a labels on the PET bottles. So the PVC is a challenge for the India. Third, in most of the European countries, the water bottles are of aqua blue color, while in India it is transparent in color. So for the bottle grade recycle rPET pellets, the color